Let me be honest with you. Most people planting in June are already behind, or at least they think they are. They missed the spring window, the soil is warm, the sun is blazing, and they've convinced themselves the season is basically over before it even started. But here's what I need you to hear right now. June is not the end of your planting season. In many ways, especially if you're in the south or in a warm tropical climate, June is where your real season begins. I've been growing food on this homestead for years, and I'll tell you straight, some of my most productive, most satisfying harvests came from seeds and slips I put in the ground right here in June. Not April, not May, June. In this video, I'm walking you through 15 crops that are literally made for June planting. Some of them you already know. Some of them are going to surprise you. And one of them, I'm going to tell you right now, it's number 11, is so simple, so productive, and so completely ignored by most home growers that it almost feels unfair. Stay with me till we get there, because it might honestly change how you plan your garden from here on out. If you're new to Pure Homestead, welcome. This channel is for real people growing real food. Whether you've got a backyard in Alabama, a plot of land in Nigeria, or a few raised beds in your yard and a determination to feed your family. We keep it practical. We keep it honest, and we never waste your time. If that sounds like your kind of place, hit subscribe right now. We drop new content every week, and you do not want to miss what's coming. And before we jump in, drop a comment below telling me where you're gardening from. I read every single one. All right, let's get into it. Number 1. Bush beans. If June had a mascot crop, it would be the bush bean, and for good reason. The soil is warm, which is exactly what bean seeds need to wake up fast. Plant them in cold ground and they sit there, rot, and do nothing. Plant them now and they're up in days. From seed to harvest, you're looking at roughly 50 to 60 days, which means you can be picking fresh beans by late July or early August. They don't need staking or trellising. They form compact little bushes, they shade out weeds naturally, and they just keep producing in waves if you keep them watered during flowering. Do a second sowing 2 weeks after the first, and you'll have a steady supply instead of one overwhelming flush. Simple, reliable, perfect for June. Number 2. Cowpeas. Also called black-eyed peas or southern peas, and if you're anywhere in the southern US or across West Africa, you already know this one. Cowpeas are built for heat. They don't just survive in warm conditions, they thrive in them. What most people don't realize is that cowpeas also fix nitrogen back into your soil while they grow, so they're literally feeding your garden at the same time they're feeding you. They're drought-resistant, they're productive in poor soils, and they're one of the most nutritious legumes you can grow. Plant them in June, mostly leave them alone, and come harvest time, you'll wonder why you ever bought dried beans from a store. Number 3. Watermelon. Now we're talking. Nothing says summer on a homestead like pulling a fat, vine-ripened watermelon out of your own garden. And June is genuinely one of the best times to get them started. Watermelons need a long, warm season, typically 70 to 90 days depending on the variety, and they need that soil to be consistently warm from day one. Plant too early in cool ground, and the seeds rot or the seedlings just stall. But plant now, in warm June soil, and they take off fast. The vines spread wide, so give them room, or if space is tight, train them along a fence line. Keep moisture consistent, especially while the fruits are sizing up, because uneven watering leads to cracking and poor flavor. You'll know a watermelon is ready when the tendril closest to the fruit dries up and turns brown. The underside turns from white to a creamy yellow, and it sounds hollow when you thump it. A homegrown watermelon harvested at peak ripeness doesn't just taste better than store-bought. It tastes like a completely different fruit. Sweet, dense, and dripping with flavor. Get those seeds in now, and you'll be cracking one open on a hot August afternoon and wondering why you ever waited this long to grow your own. Number 4. Sweet potatoes. Here's where we get into serious homestead territory. Sweet potatoes aren't planted from seeds. You plant slips, which are small rooted cuttings from a mature tuber. They need a long, warm growing season, somewhere between 90 and 120 days, and that's exactly why you need to get them in the ground now and not wait another week. The vines spread out, they cover ground beautifully, and underground those tubers are quietly building up. Come fall, you pull back those vines and you find more food than you expected, every single time. And sweet potatoes store incredibly well, so that one June planting can carry your family through months of meals. Get those slips in the ground this week. Number 5. Cucumbers. A lot of gardeners try to plant cucumbers too early. The soil is still cool, and the seeds just sit there doing nothing. Or worse, they rot. Cucumbers are a warm season crop through and through. They want heat, they want sun, and they want warm soil. June gives them all three. Most varieties go from seed to harvest in 55 to 65 days. Train them up a simple trellis or wire fence to save space, and they will produce more than you know what to do with. Keep them consistently watered. Cucumbers are mostly water themselves, and you'll be harvesting crisp, fresh cucumbers all the way into late summer. Number 6. Summer squash. Zucchini, yellow squash, patty pan. These are June planting gold. They grow fast, embarrassingly fast. One week it looks like nothing is happening, and the next week you've got a huge bush spreading across the bed. The key with summer squash is to direct sow straight into the garden. Don't start them indoors and try to transplant. They hate root disturbance, and they'll sulk for days trying to recover. Drop the seeds directly into warm soil. Give each plant plenty of room because they get big, and keep moisture consistent while they're establishing. After that, step back and just let them do their thing. They'll reward you generously. Number 7. Yard-long beans. These are also called asparagus beans or Chinese long beans, and they are one of the most heat-tolerant bean varieties you can grow. They grow up instead of out, so they save space. They produce pods that can reach 1.5 feet long, which is just visually impressive. They take a bit longer than bush beans, around 70 to 80 days, but the wait is worth it. The flavor is similar to green beans, but slightly nuttier and firmer. Stir-fry them, steam them, or eat them fresh. In a warm southern or tropical climate, these beans thrive when others struggle. Grow them up a simple stake or trellis, and they'll keep producing through the heat with almost no fuss. Number 8. Edamame. Yes, exactly like what you get at a Japanese restaurant, except you grew it yourself for practically nothing. Edamame is just fresh soybeans, and they love warm soil. From planting to harvest is roughly 75 to 90 days depending on your variety, which puts you right at early fall if you plant now. You harvest them while the pods are still green and full. Boil them in salted water, and you've got a snack that feels special, but costs you almost nothing to produce. This crop is genuinely underused in home gardens, and there's no good reason for that. If you've never grown edamame before, June is your moment to try. Real quick, if you're picking up something useful today, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more growers who need this information, and it tells me you want more content like this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Pure Homestead is all about helping you grow more, spend less, and build a life that feels like yours. You belong here. Now let's keep going, because it gets even better from here. Number 9. Malabar spinach. If you love leafy greens but thought summer heat meant you had to go without, this is your answer. Regular spinach bolts the second it gets warm. It turns bitter and gives up. Malabar spinach is a completely different plant with a completely different attitude. It's a tropical vine that absolutely loves heat and humidity, the conditions that destroy everything else. The leaves are thick, glossy, slightly succulent, and they taste great in soups, stir-fries, and salads. Grow it up a trellis, and it becomes almost decorative. In warm climates, it produces abundantly all season long. If you want green leaves through the summer months, plant Malabar spinach in June and don't look back. Number 10. Sweet corn. A lot of gardeners think corn is a spring-only crop and miss out on a June planting that can be just as productive. Warm June soil speeds up germination significantly compared to cool spring soil. Your plants get off to a stronger, more vigorous start. The key is to plant in blocks, not single long rows. Corn is wind-pollinated, so the closer the plants are to each other, the better your ear development will be. Full sun, consistent moisture during tasseling, and block planting. That's the formula. Get those seeds in the ground now, and you'll be pulling fresh sweet corn in late summer while everyone else is already done. Number 11. Moringa. This is the one I told you about at the beginning, and if you're in a warm tropical or subtropical climate, I genuinely cannot believe this one isn't in every single home garden. Moringa, sometimes called the drumstick tree or the miracle tree, is one of the most nutritionally dense plants on this entire planet. The leaves are packed with vitamins, minerals, and protein. The young seed pods are edible, and the plant itself grows at a pace that will make your jaw drop once the warm weather is fully settled in. Here's what makes June the perfect time. Moringa needs consistent warmth to establish quickly, and once it does, it doesn't slow down. In the right conditions, it pushes out fresh, tender leaves that you can harvest repeatedly without harming the plant at all. Use those leaves fresh in soups and stews, dry and grind them into powder for long-term storage, or blend them into smoothies as a simple daily nutrient boost. It's not commonly talked about in mainstream Western gardening content, but in tropical regions across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean, moringa has been a dietary staple for generations. If you're growing in a warm climate and you haven't planted moringa yet, plant it this week. You can start harvesting leaves within weeks. It's the easiest, most nutritious thing you'll grow all season. Number 12. Loofah. Before you say anything, yes, I mean the sponge. Most people have no idea that loofah is actually a vegetable in the gourd family. When you harvest it young, it's completely edible. Mild, soft, similar to zucchini. Let it fully mature on the vine, peel back the dried skin, shake out the seeds, and you have a completely homegrown, 100% natural loofah sponge that you never have to buy again. It needs a long season, around 90 to 120 days, which is exactly why you cannot wait any longer to plant it. June is the deadline. Get it in the ground now, give it a strong trellis to climb, and watch it become the most talked about plant in your entire garden. Number 13. Armenian cucumber. Here's the surprise. Armenian cucumber looks like a cucumber and tastes like a cucumber, but technically, it's a muskmelon. And what makes it worth knowing about is how it handles intense summer heat. Where regular cucumber varieties start to struggle and slow down once the hottest weeks of July and August hit, Armenian cucumber just keeps right on going. Thin skin, mild and crisp flesh, incredibly productive plants. If your regular cucumbers tend to fade mid-season, plant Armenian cucumber alongside them and you'll have fresh cucumbers all the way through summer without gaps. This is a sleeper crop that deserves a permanent spot in every warm climate garden. Number 14. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupes are all about heat and patience, and June planting sets them up perfectly for that deep, honeyed sweetness by late summer. In cooler conditions they'll grow, but the flavor won't reach that rich, almost floral sweetness that makes homegrown melon taste like a completely different fruit from the store. They need space if you let them sprawl, or a strong trellis if you grow them vertically. As the fruits mature, support them with slings made from soft fabric so they don't snap off the vine. You'll know they're ready when the skin turns golden, the stem loosens, and the fruit practically comes off with a gentle tug. One vine-ripened cantaloupe in peak summer heat is worth more than a dozen from the grocery store. Number 15. Basil. Basil and summer were made for each other. Cool temperatures stunt it. Cold nights turn those beautiful leaves black. Spring planting often ends in disappointment. But June? Basil erupts in June. It grows fast, lush, and intensely green when the heat settles in properly. Plant it near your tomatoes. They genuinely seem to perform better together, and the basil helps naturally deter certain pests at the same time. Pinch off flower heads as soon as they appear to keep the plant producing tender leaves rather than going to seed. The more you harvest from the top, the more it grows back. One healthy basil plant can supply your kitchen all summer for the price of a single seed packet. It's one of those plants that immediately rewards every bit of attention you give it. And there you have it. 15 crops that June was made for, from the reliable, fast-producing workhorses like bush beans, cucumbers, and okra, to the surprising, deeply rewarding plants like moringa, loofah, yard-long beans, and Armenian cucumber. Your June garden has more potential than most people ever take advantage of. And here's the thing I want you to walk away with today. The most successful home growers aren't always the ones with the most space, the most money, or the most fancy tools. They're the ones who understand timing. They're the ones who stay curious. They're the ones who aren't afraid to plant something they've never tried before. So get out there. Get those seeds and slips in the ground. Start with one crop you've never grown before. Maybe moringa if you're in a warm climate, maybe loofah, maybe yard-long beans. Try something new this June and see what happens. If this video helped you, leave a comment below and tell me which crop from this list you're planting first. I genuinely want to know what you're working with this season, and I read every single comment. Hit the like button if this gave you value. Share it with a fellow grower who needs to hear this. And subscribe to Pure Homestead if you want to keep growing smarter, eating better, and building a life that actually feeds your family. I'll see you in the next one.